Hi, everyone. I'm Krista McNamara, Content Channel Director with Motor Age Magazine. So the point of advertising and marketing is really to set yourself apart from your competitors. Some shops use marketing solely as a tool to drive as many customers to their doors as possible, but they're not taking into account the quality of these customers. They're really not focused on differentiating their marketing look or tailoring their messaging. But shops that are the most effective at marketing don't focus simply on activity. They really focus more on the results, which means attracting the right customer to ensure a growing profit. So here to talk with us about achieving marketing results and not just activity is David Rogers. So David is a Chief Operating Officer at Keller Brothers Incorporated. He's president of Auto Profit Masters, and he's also the creator of RPM Toolkit, which integrates with shop point of sale software to help owners identify problems in their shop and to get some one-click training solutions. So David, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
So David, can you walk us through the difference between marketing activity and marketing results?
If all you did or all you do is bring in lousy customers, bottom feeders as we refer to them so frequently in the business, and drive away your high quality customers seeking that busyness, believe me, I've done it, your customer retention rate will dive and you'll end up killing your shop. Perhaps a great example, somebody's sending out a ton of mail during a busy period of time, overfilling the shop. And now you've got all your regulars who are accustomed to taking care of, they're used to being there, that really take care of your business in the slow and the busy time, but you can't get to them because you're buried in busy work, no value work. It doesn't do any good to do a shop load of free oil changes or highly discounted repair work while I'm upsetting the people from my neighborhood who typically support our business and keep us healthy. So, looking at results isn't always just saying, how many cars did I get in the door? When you deal with a low-level advertiser, a low-quality vendor, they're going to come to you all the time and come up with lots of free, discounted garbage that's going to bring all the wrong people in your shop. It's going to give you the illusion of, wow, look how successful and busy we are. And in the meantime, you're actually destroying everything that you're working for in the long term.
Who are some of the right people that the shop should really be looking to attract?
So, we tailor it to the shop, to their needs, to their services. Every shop does different things. Some shops may be doing diesel things, so the perfect customer for them obviously is a little different for a customer in an inner city shop that might be focused on economic vehicles or hybrids even.
So how can shops kind of distinguish between these low value customers and then the high value customers that are really going to drive their success long term?
It's a lot more about learning to measure than anything else. Every shop owner that I talk to originally thinks they know who their customer are or should be. And in every case, without any exceptions, we've found it to be quite a bit different than perhaps the owner thought. If you were to ask me, gee, do you know your customers? I'd tell you, gee, I know most of them, I know a lot of them. But if you were to come in and really take a sampling of those randomly and say, okay, tell me what this customer looks like. Tell me what kind of car this customer drives. There are going to be a lot more customers that I couldn't say yes to or couldn't accurately identify than there will be that I could. So my impression is I know them because I see 5 or 6 people a day that I know really well. But those aren't all my customers. So how do I distinguish the difference? A huge part of that is learning what and how to measure. It's really the biggest challenge. Really the key is learning how to objectively measure what's working for me. I may prefer hot rods and muscle cars, but if I try to build my business around what I love, that isn't going to make me busy and keep my business successful. I've got to measure and say, gee, which makes and models, which areas of my neighborhood, which type of customer, what things are going to drive my business into those growth patterns. And learning and understanding that is certainly the key to distinguishing a difference.
What are some of the other challenges in kind of seeing the difference between the marketing activity and marketing results?
Activity leads you to make bad decisions. If your goal is to be busy, which is being activity based, you're going to make decisions that will hurt your actual results, which are getting the money to the bottom line. Just like my example with the hobby, the hot rods. But focusing on results is only the start. They're really not created equal. Results are kind of like an iceberg. Above the surface, sales, which is the result, can really look up. But below the surface, the boost in low quality customers that can lead to a temporary increase in sales is doing long-term damage. How do you determine which customers that come through the door? A lot of it has to do with language. You first of all have to have your training in order, or it doesn't really matter. I could walk into your shop as a customer and you'd never realize what you just got a hold of. I'm your perfect customer. I don't have time to fool around. I don't want to fix the car myself. I don't want to, same thing, I think of it in terms of my boat. I don't want to touch my boat. I don't want to work on it. That boat's my toy. That's for fun. That's what I do to be happy. So busting my knuckles out there on the weekends after working all week in the shop, not happy, okay? So I'm your customer if you're the boat guy. So if I bring you my boat, I'm going to hand you the keys. I'm going to look at you and I'm going to go, okay, here's my budget. You can spend up to $2,000 or whatever it is I'm willing to spend this week to get things solved. Fix everything you see and just be happy with it. But you'll never know that if you're not trained properly. You'll never know that when I come in the door that I'm that kind of guy, because that's not the first thing I'm going to say to a stranger. I'm going to say that to somebody I've already built a relationship with. So what you're going to have to do is, first of all, I think determine, are these people, are they fitting, as we said, numerically, into the picture? Do they have the right makes and models? Do they have the right kind of a thought process? Are they seeking to understand, or are they seeking not to spend money? Every single customer that comes in your door comes in with their wallet tightly grasped between their hands like this. And if your goal is simply to open those hands up and get the wallet, they're going to feel that and the game's over, okay? If your goal is simply to figure out how much you can get out of them, how many things, the game's over. So what we teach in our process, the goal has to be to serve the person's needs and understand whether or not after that's taken place, is this person's needs and the way they want to go about it, is this a good fit for my business? Typically, customers can be taught, they can be guided. We found that by teaching them great things, giving them lots of clear information, giving them good options, things like that, really helps them identify themselves as to what kind of customer they're going to be. The customer that comes in and tells me, gee, I've been burned by another shop, I'm really anxious, I'm not sure I want to have this full inspection and listen to what you have to say, that does not mean he's not my customer. In fact, that customer is putting their hand up saying, I'm exactly the kind of person you're looking for. I'm looking for someone who wants a good relationship that's based on the important parts of a relationship. As far as selling work, fixing cars, that's going to happen one way or the other. But if we can build a relationship where I can educate you, give you good options, amazing service, okay, real consideration, the same kind of consideration that I would give my own family, and you're going to respond well to that, instead of coming back to me and going, okay, I get all that, but can you knock another $50 off? That guy just took himself out of my realm. That's not who I want in my shop. I will happily, politely, without even showing any unhappiness, I'll look right at him and say, hey, I really can't, but I do know a shop where you might be able to find, some real discounted type pricing. You won't get this level of service, but you'll get a much cheaper repair. And if that's really what you're after and you don't care about warranties, I send them right down to my competitor, who I would much rather have pulling his hair out today than my staff. Okay, so, how do I determine it? Those are some of the ways. It should be done before we get them into the shop. And if the marketing, the advertising is being done correctly, they're going to measure and target things and really put that message out there in a way that's going to draw the people that I want into my business. That's why we set records year after year in sales.
Well, David, thank you so much for your insight. It seems like shops really need to do a lot of thinking internally about the kinds of customers they want to draw in, so they can then properly market their shop to be attracting those people. And thank you also for going over the importance of keeping your eye on the results and not just the activity. You can reach out to David via email at contact@autoprofitmasters.com. Thank you.